harder, to meme harder, in our main category.
And you know, 6 seconds for a spicy meme? That's not terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. But
and they're
yeah,
off.
so we're off, and let's hope they both get good, some good rupee RNG at the start. We're gonna need 10 rupees. Go buy some stuff from the shop. Buy in heavy quotation marks.
Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it on this go-round, but we're calling this match part of the top 6. So these 2 runners at this point, regardless of how this race goes and following races goes, they're guaranteed a spot in the top 6. So we've got 4 runners in the winners bracket for this round, and then we have 4 runners in the losers bracket from last week as well that we're going to see coming up tomorrow.
And slight route difference here. From what I'm to understand, if that urchin drops a rupee, the route that aullos took is faster. Otherwise, what Black did was 44 frames faster or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even know the.
I remember hearing it in a video once, but yeah, it's. So yeah, as you see, aullos saved a sword swipe and is ahead now by although not having as good rupee luck as Black is.
Yeah, the way aullos chooses to fight those enemies is, I think, is suboptimal, but
yeah,
it who am I to argue with someone who's got a 120 PB?
That's fair. It did look slower. He moved through that area slower than Black. Black is hoping to get one more rupee. Oh man, they're both very close, and it looks like Black will be entering the shop first. And aullos right behind, so that's pretty good. But instead of buying anything, we gotta steal some stuff first. And oh no! aullos got caught.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
The shop keeps having his looking away, like his turning cycles, are random, or at least they're variable, and there's not a whole lot we can do to manipulate them, so you just kind of have to hope that you time it appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a rule of thumb that for however long it takes him to look up, that's how long you should wait before trying to run. Like, there's a bunch of stuff, but it's random and it's set on a global frame rule, so you really have no idea when they're supposed to be triggered. But sometimes he just never wants to let you steal, and it sucks. So we see Black doing some swag, pushing up against nothing.
And quickly, both runners getting into the optimal position. Getting 2 pixels slightly lower there is the lowest position you can be on to grab that powder.
Oh. I think aullos missed the powder?
Did he fail Trendy?
I think he failed Trendy!
Oh my god.
He's gotta go get the bow again!
Oh my god, what a meme. Poor aullos, though.
Alright.
aullos was a bit shaky before the race, you know? He was just having one of those days where things weren't clicking, things he's done a million times were just not going well. And I really hope this is not a sign of things to come. Because that is so unfortunate.
Yeah, I've had days like those. Everyone has days like those where it's just like, well, today I'm just gonna lose every race I'm involved in. But yeah, I don't think he tried to do early magic powder either. He did that time, which is way riskier. You have to be pretty precise to get it like that.
Well, to be fair, his grab right there wasn't terribly early. And it's one of those things where, like, the visual cue for Trendy Game to get the powder is pretty easy, but I've done that too, where I'm just not thinking, I do it a bit too early, and you miss it.
Yeah. No, by early I meant, like, he holds the A button down further, longer, instead of waiting for the Q.
Yeah, and Sega says maybe something else happened there and pressed a button or something. I didn't catch it myself, so
yeah,
that'll be worth rewatching. But yeah, that's also unfortunate too, because it's a pretty significant time loss for an early mistake. And being as early as it is, and as uncomfortable as aullos was feeling, I hope it doesn't, you know, hit him too hard.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time to save.
Oh god, yeah.
Overall, like I think some of the best segments is down to 117 or something like that for some of the runners between Seisei and Sagas.
Yep. And we already see Black heading into D1 here. He's, you know, gone in, grabbed that one semi-secret seashell there. And we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of seashell routing in this run that maybe, you know, not be terribly obvious to the casual viewer, but the routing and where we choose to get the seashells and when we choose to get the 20 seashells is very important in this route.
Yeah, right before the tournament actually ended up starting, Sagas actually went through and rerouted a lot of the seashells. Because he was just trying to get level 2 sword earlier so he could work in early Maglens. Or make it faster. And now we have a great route.
It was faster.
Oh, he was trying to, I don't remember, he's trying to work in something that made it faster. Maybe he just wanted level 2 sword and sword beams for D5.
And you know, it worked out because it's great. Having level 2 sword early really improves this run from a runner's perspective.
Yeah.
And if it's faster, that's amazing.
Yeah, it gives more variance from our other categories. Like, it adds a couple other tricks that wouldn't have been done. We don't have to do D5, which is really nice with the way it's all set up now. And we get spicy tunic memes, which are very important and will be argued about for days to come.
Also, I'm noticing in chat that Sagas claims that aullos opened the start menu during Trendy. And of course, I didn't see it, so I can't say for sure, but it seems to me that he might have been trying to do a text skip, which is not possible in DX version, but is muscle memory if you're used to playing Link's Awakening.
Oh my god.
In a start menu when you collect that powder there. And it may have just been one of those, he wasn't thinking, he reverted to his LA muscle memory, and, you know...
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know how that would have failed, or caused a failure, but maybe it was something like that.
Yeah, huh.
So Black finishing up D1, and of course, comparing to aullos here, you know, he's still quite a bit ahead of aullos, but that also wasn't a very good start for Black either.
His D1 wasn't great either. Aullos has had a much cleaner D1 and enter D1 past, you know, his small mistake. Like, he was about a minute behind after the trendy mistake, and he's gonna be made it probably like 15 seconds or something like that. Oh, that's Moldorm. Moldorm happening there. There's some kids, you push the B button at them to let them know to shut up.
Yeah, kids notorious for having just way too much to say, but luckily in the Japanese 1.0 version we can just press B and they shut up.
Yeah, unlike the English version where I'm pretty sure the text is just blah 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 repeated over and over again.
Well, that's one thing that Provone definitely got right in his hack.
Yeah, that was, I don't think he changed that.
Yeah, you're right, that was just vanilla.
But, super jumps! Save so much time.
Yeah, so we saw them do a couple of these in Dungeon 1, but we see Black doing another one there in that cave, where you can kind of clip into the edge of a wall, and the game thinks you're jumping off the other side of the wall, and it gives you kind of like a mid-air ledge jump, which we can use to hop over obstacles, and he got to that heart piece earlier than intended, and without the bracelet as intended.
I'm really liking, he's doing these sword slashes on the moblins, and then jumping above them to get the damage boost forward to save a little bit of time.
Are you referring to aullos?
Black.
Oh, Black?
Yeah, he was slashing a moblin and then just getting hit by them after he jumps over them just to save time. And I'm like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, those are really nice damage boosts. I think we'll see aullos going for them as well.
That saves such a small amount of time in the grand scheme of things, but
health is just another resource, and if these runners are comfortable enough,
there you go. That's the first one.
Yeah, that's a really fun damage boost there.
Gets the second one too. Okay, so we're gonna go save Bow Wow, whose entire purpose in this game is to open up D2 and get us a picture.
Yeah, and he stays with us a bit longer than intended, but still not as long as you do in the main category.
If anyone can figure out how to rat out Bow Wow, I'd be happy.
Rat him out completely?
Yeah, that'd be great. Although, like, it probably wouldn't work in No Scoob. He saves quite a bit of time there.
Yeah, I think skipping Bow would, you know, be worth it in no swoop, but yeah, the dungeon eats and all that stuff do save quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
And for the record, we do have a Bow Wow skip, but it is just a buttload of RNG. Yeah, Black having a pretty good flower eat there. Of course, Bow Wow's cycles being most, you know, for the most part RNG.
Yeah, I had a like a minute 30 Bow Wow the other day. He just didn't eat. Just sat there and trolled me.
That's where you just turn everything off and go to bed. Like, day's over.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, that was the problem was it was like 10 a.m. So what am I supposed to do?
The day has screwed you. That's enough. Time to start over.
It's over. Back to bed. I'm not getting out.
Just press the reset button on life and go back to bed.
Alright.
Aullos opting not to manipulate Bow Wow here and getting a really slow eat. Because there is a way, I mean, depending on your position when you enter the screen, you can buffer a jump and buffer a slash or combination of the above, and it seems to, you know, 80% of the time, roughly, gives you better luck, kind of resets the cycle on Bow Wow. And
I feel like it's placebo.
You think it's placebo?
I think it's placebo.
I don't think it's placebo. Like, it's not 100% consistent, but it improves it for, you know, so many tries. Ooh.
Oh, Black having to use an extra arrow. I think his routing has one extra arrow in it though, so.
Well, he used 2 extra arrows there.
Oh, was it just supposed to be 1 arrow?
Yeah, you're supposed to hit both ghosts with a single arrow, so he missed the one ghost, and then your reflex is kind of to just keep the arrows out and keep firing them, but you lose 2 extra arrows with that typically.
Yeah, that's.
But as you said, I'm pretty sure his route will allow for the extra rupee the extra arrow usage, and certainly he's aware of it and he knows how to adapt to this.
Yeah, and like, worst comes to worst, he's gonna lose time on 2 bombable doors. So that's about it. He'll just
well, I was gonna
have to
say that
explode.
I think he's currently 1 arrow short from where I would be at this point, and I have an extra arrow in my route, so he should be okay. Because what we see a lot of runners doing now is at the boomerang cave, they'll just bomb the door rather than bomb arrow it, so there's 1 less arrow they need. But yeah, so here's the genie at D2. A very annoying boss that we do a wonderful quick kill on, where we're gonna see Black grab the bottle, wall flip a few pixels into the wall, and magically the bottle's gonna break in 1 hit, when it usually takes 3. And he then equips the bomb arrows, places a bomb, the bomb ricochets the genie, and he gets a quick bomb arrow in, and turns, you know, probably a 5-minute boss into a 30-second boss.
Yeah, it's one of my...
Oh no!
Oh no!
I've done that. So, you're supposed to pick up that bottle, that jar, and use the jar to weigh you down to lower that platform. But it turns out the game doesn't care if it's a jar, it just cares that you're holding something, and the bomb counts.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the platform has collision for Link, it doesn't have collision for bombs, so Aullos unfortunately dropped the bomb right off the edge, and you kind of just have to either leave the screen or wait for the bomb to explode, since you can't have more than 1 bomb on a screen at a time, which, incidentally, we haven't talked about it, but that is sort of part of the mythos behind the bomb triggers that we're going to see our runners doing over the course of the run. So yeah, lots of unfortunate little things happening to Aullos so far. As Black here, Black finished up D2, and then he came over, he just wanted to visit that screen to activate that warp portal, which is going to save him a second later in the run.
Well, it saves quite a bit of time for backtracking.
Well, it saves quite a bit of time in backtracking, but when you subtract the time it takes to actually get there in the first place, it only saves about a second. So we do it. I mean, it's worth it. But yeah,
that seems well. Maybe in Hundo, I'm thinking of the saving quick category versus no scoop.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because we gotta go over there anyway, so.
But yeah, then our runners are dipping back into the forest to clean up a couple extra requirements now that they have the bracelet, and we find the Mad Batter hiding under a rock here. And this is the first of 3 places we're going to find him. And each time he's going to quote-unquote punish us with a capacity upgrade. And
Yeah,
each
look at all
time we
that.
talk to him, he's going to offer us the powder upgrade first, and we do not want the powder upgrade just because it's useless, and getting the bombs and arrow upgrades are really useful to route into the run. So Black, careful to say no to the powder and yes to the bombs.
It's very important.
Yeah, he now has basically limitless bombs over the course of this run. He's not going to run out.
Yeah, there's only like a couple ways you can end up wasting that many bombs. All of them are near the end of the game and involving bomb triggers and pits. Black
Yeah.
takes a small detour to go pick up that seashell. He now has 5 seashells, and he's gonna go pay a trip to Seashell Manor pretty soon to go get one of the gifts they give you. At 5 and 10 seashells, they give you an extra seashell.
Yeah, so I mean, you could just visit the mansion at 20 seashells to get your big reward of the level 2 sword. But it actually turns out there's value in us routing in visits to the seashell mansion when we're in the area to get those bonus seashells. They tend to be a lot quicker than the alternatives that we would get.
Yeah, just because for one of them, which is still a fast seashell, that's very out of the way in terms of where we have to be in order to get the early level 2 sword, which makes one of our skips much faster. And the other ones are just awful. Awful to go and get.
Yeah, there's some pretty bad ones.
My favorite is the one on top of the 3-exit cave in the Moblin Maze. That one's silly.
We also see Aullos there, and Black did the same, opting to open up that cave, but not enter it yet. That's a cave we're going to go into to get a heart piece pretty soon. But you need the boots in order to get through it. But it just makes sense to open it up while we have the bombs equipped to get past that large obstacle anyway. So it just saves us one menuing.
Yeah, 2 seconds every time. So Black is heading down to do Villa Skip.
Ooh, falling in the first time.
Oh, okay.
And then getting a 1 buffer.
Getting firsties. It looked like he had, like, just the way he was slashing his sword, it looked like he was setting himself up, like he understood where it was.
Well, he's one of those runners that likes to do, well, I think
wait, did he skip the text?
On the slime key?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, did he
I think he skipped the text.
Did he screen transition before he got the leaf?
Yeah, so that's bad, if that happened.
Well, I mean, I assume Black knows what he's doing. You might actually be able to text skip that.
If you can. I remember hearing that if you transition before then, it doesn't transform. That's just what I've heard.
Okay, I was looking at Aullos at that point, but Sega says it's fine.
Okay. So I've been lied to by old videos.
But we do see Aullos having some trouble. Oh, Aullos 3 times falling in the pit here on Villa Skip.
Oh yeah, but it's the slime key.
Now, to explain this trick, they're pause buffering, and by buffering a pause out of a pause, the game will only advance 1 frame at a time. And you can do that to carefully pause on the exact frame that Link falls, and by doing that, you cancel the fall. And that lets you kind of stand on the edge of the pit and transfer downwards. Aullos, having a really hard time there, not only falling in on his first few attempts, but his final attempt there took a ton of buffers. And there's not a lot you can do about that. It just boils down to luck and, you know, global frame rules and cycles and all those kind of shenanigans.
It's one of the reasons why a lot of people are adverse to early Rooster Skip as well, because that does require a lot of pit buffers sometimes. Other times it saves you a ton of time.
Actually, and we'll see Villa Skipping come back. Well, not Villa Skip itself, but we'll see that same trick come back in not too long, because both these runners will be going for something we call early Rooster Skip, where we do a similar trick where we buffer over a pit to get the bird key even earlier than our usual skip. But now we see Black coming into the Dodongo room and doing a fun little super jump and clinking his sword off the Dodongos to skip into that inner ring and then super jumping to the boots. So doing that not only lets us skip defeating the Dodongos, but it lets us skip that initial key block to get into that inner ring. So that allows us to skip 1 key, and then after grabbing the Nightmare key here, we're going to see them also skip a second key by flock clipping through the 4th block. And I don't think we mentioned it, but we saw them do this earlier on the way to Dungeon 2, where if you're wall clipped into a wall, you can diagonally clip between a corner tile and certain obstacles that give you text. So if you walk into a key block without a key, the game will pop open a text box to tell you you don't have a key. But you can actually wiggle a couple of pixels during that text box, which lets you kind of clip through, and speeds this dungeon up by a ton.
Yeah, just you can advance like one pixel in a cardinal direction, and it kind of clips you right into where you need to be. It's actually one of the reasons why picking up the heart piece that they jump over before getting Bow Wow is faster when you approach the top, because you can move 1 frame down as you grab it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit silly of a time save, but...
And we didn't mention, too, that both runners have gotten a piece of power in this dungeon that they get from killing a certain number of enemies. And it's really the only section in this run that is a long enough point between save and quits that we can actually rack up enough kills to get it. And we saw Vlack take... Not only does the piece of power speed you up, but the knockback effect and the increased damage let Vlack make quick work of the boss there. And we'll get to see it on aullos' side as well now coming up.
Yeah, meanwhile, yeah, Vlack is now heading off to do a whole ton of cleanup. There's going to be quite some time before we enter another dungeon.
Yeah, we've got a whole 15 minutes of digging around villages before we get to Dungeon 4.
Yeah, we're gonna run into walls, find pineapples,
burn keys.
Talk about seagulls.
Talk about seagulls.
Yeah, it's really a lot to do and not a lot of time, or it's too much time to do it. This hard piece everybody found as a kid, I'm sure.
Yeah, one of 4 really hidden ones.
So, there's this cutscene coming up that Vlack is gonna skip. I remember the last time aullos did it, he got it frame perfect because he didn't realize that it was a frame perfect trick. You can just buffer the save and quit and it's free, but it's still pretty silly. But you can save 2 seconds, and that saves a lot of time.
Well, with you mentioning it, did Vlack get a 1 buffer there? Or did
no, it was a 2.
Oh, okay.
I know, aullos didn't realize that that was a thing. Like, he just like, oh, I got it! So
Yeah.
he was just mashing the save and quit.
But yeah, so this is a really fun part of the route, where we get to do the 5 seashell prize before Dungeon 3, and then we get to immediately go and do the 10 seashell prize afterwards. Just by kind of picking up, you know, seashells here and there as we go.
Yeah. And so now we have 11 seashells, off to pick up our 12th. And then we're gonna head to animal villages. We get some swag down sword dash.
Yeah, I love that. I love that swag dash.
Yeah, a lot of anything that stops Link from moving while he's in the middle of Pegasus booting, you can get some pretty fun interactions of what happens with the sword. As we'll definitely be seeing one of those come up later. And aullos is going for his Terrence kick. Not 2 buffer, but that's fine. Going for the 1 buffer is crazy. This one, you just go for the 1 buffer anyway. Although the 2 buffer still saves time. It saves 11 frames.
And just to answer Froyo in chat, the 2 presents we get from the Seashell Mansion, they both could give you an extra seashell. So it's not a terribly exciting prize, it's not an extra item or anything like that, but it's definitely a nice quick boost to get you to level 2 sword quicker.
I'd say it's exciting. It's a unique sprite in a game that only has so many things going on.
That's true.
It's like someone spent probably like the better part of an afternoon, like sitting at their desk, drawing this sprite out, and aullos gets the text skip.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
So here's Dream Shrine. This is some of the more interesting and ominous music in the game. You hear it for about 10 seconds.
And typically you're supposed to, you know, boots and sword dash all the way around the outside of that mini dungeon. But with a quick super jump, Vlack was able to get to the ocarina in no time.
Yeah, but now we're gonna go fishing. The ruby red's looking pretty good. They're doing the same ruby redding, I'm assuming. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll be getting their rupees in color done.
Yeah.
So we saw Black there. He fished, caught one of the small ones, and just let it get away. Because he really wanted this big one, because this big one has a heart piece inside of it. But that little one will always get in the way, so you have to get rid of it first, and it just so happens that it's faster to let it get away from you than it is to actually catch it.
Yeah, and getting that big one there is really nice, because it skips the 4 piece of heart cutscene, where you get the whole thing. It saves a couple seconds there. So here's our first of 2 RNG cutscenes. Bow needs to bonk into you 3 times. And when he does that, it's random. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not even a deal, but it's a thing to talk about. As we're gonna get...
That these cutscenes have any sort of RNG involved with them is just... it's silly.
I'm a fan of the seagulls. Seagulls are coming up soon.
Are you excited for the seagulls?
I'm excited for the seagulls. I hope we see some good seagull RNG. It could determine whether or not Alice is going to be able to make it back in this race. You get good seagulls, you're going to have a good run. Bad seagulls, and you're probably going to fail early hookshot.
You know, they say some people are trained to read the seagulls, to predict how the run's going to end.
I mean, that sounds like the Fisher's Almanac, like that kind of deal.
Yeah, like reading tarot cards. You know, I can't do it myself, but I've heard tales.
And okay, so Vlack, instead of going for any other trick, goes for the callously ignoring Marin.
Yeah, he's trying to play hard to get, and yeah, we'll see if it works out for him.
I think it's working. Like, he teleported on top of a log that's not even on that beach. Like, it's going pretty good. But his split is red, so I guess it's not going super good.
Maybe she just forcefully roped him in during the fade out. I mean, Mama gets what she wants.
That's okay. I was like, I can see it. She's basically Malin with Zelda's sprite and orange hair.
That's true, and Talon was pretty afraid of Malin.
Yeah, she lives on a farm. I can imagine that like she has rope handling skills.
Yeah.
But so I don't know why this rat is sitting at the bottom of a well waiting to take a picture of Marin sitting on Link's face.
Well, good thing that he was, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, but that picture though. Yeah. And in this picture, where Link is actually a frog.
I mean, face sitting on the first date, you know.
Yeah.
I thought Marin was a good girl.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're on a date with Marin, and we're getting 3 photos with her.
Yeah. She's cool. She's the only human female on the island, so our options are limited.
Well, no, there's her and there's Grandma.
Yeah. I don't know. Grandma could be a robot. We're not sure.
And there's Papal's wife. And there's...
She's taken. She's unavailable.
And there's Crazy Tracy. And there's Syrup the Witch. And there's Madame Meow Meow.
You're listing things that... Okay. You shouldn't...
I think I won.
There's a statement I want to make about Crazy Tracy, but we'll get kicked off.
It's okay, I got you.
Yeah. She's the only one willing to date us, so we're going with it.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the hippo, and there's the goat. But you did say non-human. Yeah, you did say non-human. So.
Crazy Tracy and the witch are probably not humans. They're magical. They don't count.
Okay, okay. So we're talking about muggles only.
Muggles only, yeah. And, Grandma has the ability to teleport to Animal Village, I guess, whenever she feels like, so...
Yeah.
To sweep things with a broom, that's not something a regular person would do. And, you know, Madame Meow Meow, like, she gives you a kiss if you don't run away from her, but we don't want that, obviously. She's not so good looking.
Yeah, Link's pretty shallow, unfortunately.
And you know, Mama is taken. Like,
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Grandpa Ulrira. But we just saw Black there do what we call walrus skip, where he bomb triggered Marin into singing. And I mean, we had Marin with us. We could have just talked to the walrus and had Marin start that cutscene. But it turns out it's actually a bit faster to bomb trigger that, even with Marin.
yeah, I like it when they do the bomb trigger from the top, even though it is slower. But then you see Marin walk through trees, because when she leaves a room, she's leaving. Like, there's nothing that can stop her. You can do one of her cutscenes backwards, and she just walks across the sky to the other side, and then like through a wall. It's pretty great.
Well, I'm a little surprised Black didn't do it from the top. He usually does. I guess he just decided to change his mind about that, because both strats were about the same time.
Okay, so this is the part of the game where they expected you to just shovel randomly in this pit until you found this key. But if you shoot 2 arrows at the ground, it kicks up enough sand that you just find the key anyway. And there's nothing else going on in that room, ever. So that's what's going on. And oh, Alice fails the bomb trigger for Walrus.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened there. It didn't look like he got the pixel. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think he just, oh, and my stream has frozen. I think he just missed, like, he was in the wrong position, needed a buffer again, but, sometimes that does happen. You'll be able to tell based on Link's, hand position what's going on.
And yeah, and despite the shovel being an intended solution for the desert pit, the developers did realize it was kind of an obtuse solution, so they did program in the arrows as well.
Yeah, no, if you fire 2 of them at the ground, it's basically like, it just kicks it up. It's really
exactly. It's a very strong bow, so it kicks up a lot of dust.
Like, you start with silvers in this game, because they can already, like, they're so strong, they do so much damage.
Oh god, do you ever.
But, however, Ganon upgraded himself and made himself immune to silvers in this game, so you just have to stab him to death instead. And we'll see how Aullos deals with arrow digging room.
Oh, buffering and jump in, interesting.
Yeah.
And as always, playing with fire, dancing around the pit.
Yeah, you really need that that key to spawn first. I'm not sure. Aullos' might be like slightly faster, that strategy.
Jumping, yeah, it might be.
It's hard to say.
I think it would be faster if you were buffering the feather and the bow at the same time through the transition, but I don't know about quickly equipping the way he did, if that saves any time.
Yeah. It's hard to say, but so we're gonna open up the fish house. This is where the fish live. As you can see, it's a giant fish. And we gotta go in there to fight boss Angerfish. Not Anglerfish, it's Angerfish, because we have Happy Fish next door.
Well, he's called Angerfish because he's always angry.
Yeah, he's very frowny, and then there's Happy Fish is next door.
Yeah.
So you just gotta make sure you go to Smilefish, but like his house is less cool than Angerfish's, so.
Yeah, I mean, you defeat Angerfish, and then you let Happy Fish know that he can move in now. He can move back home.
Yeah, like, cause like he wants that house. Like Angerfish is prime real estate. Like it's under a waterfall, like most times. Technically,
so much space to do things.
And it does not look like Black is gonna do early Rooster Skip.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I kind of thought Black... Maybe I'm wrong. I thought Black had been learning early Rooster Skip, but maybe not.
Well, Black did, like, task it out, and then had decided that it's never worth going for. Because, like, he's like, it only saves, like, 15 seconds, so if you get more than 7 buffers, it's slower. But there's probably some other things that weren't factored in. Like, it feels like it saves a lot more time, even when you get the, like, a much longer buffer one.
Well, because the thing you have to remember, too, is that you're talking about...
butt sword.
Yeah, he got the butt sword, so that's very important.
But it's glowing, too.
But yeah, when you talk about a 7 buffer difference between a perfect Rooster Skip and a perfect early Rooster Skip, you're probably not going to get double firsties on your Rooster Skip anyway, so...
Yeah.
The margin's wider.
Yeah, so it's really hard to figure out. Like, but if you get double firsties, then if you're gonna get double firsties, then you were gonna get a perfect early rooster skip. Like I say, the luck is probably about the same because one's a frame perfect trip you have control over, the other one not so much. But on average, luck early rooster skip saves time.
Also, you know what? I'm interested to see if aullos is going to go for early rooster skip, because despite practicing it, he is having an off run, and I'm wondering if he might opt not to, just because he's kind of off his game.
Yep, that's
and yeah,
he's done it in his last 2 races too.
Yeah, so race strats, play it safe. You know, I don't blame him, especially. Oh, he didn't go up to get the photo and the seashell.
Well, maybe
so
he's got a new route.
How is that gonna change things for him?
He could technically go back up, do D7.
do early D7 and then hop down to the heart keys.
Yeah, so that is technically an option. Black is doing his strat here, clanking over the P-hat. That's so swag.
Well, I mean, let's see. If it's a mistake, like assuming he made a mistake here, he could always get the backup seashell in D6. But I get the feeling he did it on purpose. I mean, he entered the cave like he was going up the mountain, but then he hopped down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe he went into the cave and then muscle memory took over and he hopped down without realizing it. But he could have saved and quit at that point to go back up. So
yeah,
I'm really interested to see what he does here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of recovery strats. I don't know. Early D7 might, if he does early rooster skip first try and gets everything, it might be okay, but he's losing out time elsewhere. And I guess it's probably better to revert to the older route at this point. Or just get the backup in D6.
It does strike me that it's possible that, given the state of aullos' run, he may be opting to meme a bit if he feels he's going to lose.
That is 100% possible, and yeah, I
think
hope
it's not the case, but it's possible, yes.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that happen a couple times this tournament. I think my favorite one was Spice, who accidentally super swam and wrong warped by mistake.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was our first race too, so that was a spicy. That was he made sure he brought the spice.
Oh, it was spicy, alright. But here we have Black. We actually didn't mention it, but both runners got their very first song for the ocarina from Marin in Animal Village. And Black there talking to our happy fish friend Manbo to get his Mambo.
And,
which is the second song we get for the ocarina, and it's the only really useful one for us. We use it a couple times to warp to a pond on the overworld. It just cuts quite a bit of overworld travel later in the run.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. All we're gonna be doing is mamboing, but still not best song. Best song is for later.
And I'm sorry, you know, thanks to White Wolfos, I can finally admit it to the population that the best song is Ballad of the Windfish.
I mean, you're like that's true, but like we're talking about best songs that you can meme and play.
So at this point now, we're followed by this annoying ghost. He shows up when we beat Dungeon 4, and we could skip him, but we don't because we want a photo.
And Ghost can randomly talk to you.
Yep, which can screw up a couple of tricks coming up here.
Specifically the next trick, and I've seen it happen twice in races that I've casted, where they're about to do the super jump on the overworld, and yeah, it talks and you just lose everything, and everything is terrible.
But we see both runners now, after, you know, finishing up the D4, they head to the bay here, grab a couple extra seashells. They bomb trigger the fisherman, so they haven't done any of the trading quests since getting the pineapple. But at any point of the game, if you bomb trigger that fisherman, they'll give you the bra, regardless of whether or not you have the requirement for it.
Okay.
Which they use to then get the bra, which they then get the scale from the mermaid. which they're going to now take to the mermaid statue before getting the hookshot. So we call this early magnifying lens, where we're going to see our runners bump off of the Zora projectile here to get into a super jump position, to super jump across the gap. And yeah, Vlack gets into position and nails it.
Perfect. Yeah, he had a little bit bad luck skipping the mermaid cutscene. That one, it's still definitely faster, but he wasted a bit of time. He had 5 buffers, so we'll see how aullos ends up doing with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can do any of those setups totally unbuffered, but the risk reward isn't really there for most runners yet.
I mean, when it's 5, you can like wait just like the slightest bit of amount to try to do it, because it's 5 frames.
Yeah, like it's definitely something you can get a feel for. You know, it's not a huge amount of time.
aullos got a second buffer, so that's 6 seconds made up. Although he's got a lot of time to make up since he didn't do the entire like top of the mountain. So, and let's see if he does any buffers on the Zora. And oh man, that was really close.
That's really too bad.
Okay, I'm gonna say he made up time. Like, he didn't lose any time over Black's setup because of unless he bonks here. Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, because he didn't do any buffers, he saved time there.
I mean, of course, aullos being a runner of the original Link's Awakening, that game doesn't really have buffering, so aullos doesn't use it, doesn't need it, doesn't want it.
Yeah, it does have Mushroom, though.
It does have Mushroom.
Which...
Except the Mushroom can't kill the final boss.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But if someone can figure out how to route in Mushroom, it'll make early Rooster Skip easily faster.
I would love that.
I want it. I also want to be able to bring the damn Mushroom to the final boss.
So aullos taking his turn getting the really weird fisherman photo, this really weird little diorama that's playing out here.
Which,
and oddly enough,
yeah,
one of the only photos in the game you can just cancel.
Yeah, if you pause during that, you lose the photo. I don't know why, but that's awful.
Yeah, it's such a weird glitch because it's the only photo that can happen to. Meanwhile, Black coming to the west side of the bay, taking the ghost to his house because he won't stop complaining about it, and goes and grabs the boomerang. So, having gotten that magnifying lens, we are now able to see the gorilla in that cave, and that gorilla will give us the boomerang if we trade him some non-essential items. So, or not non-essential, but any sort of non-upgradable item. So we could give him the shovel, the feather, I think the boots, things like that. So we give him the shovel because we no longer need it, and this boomerang is the most overpowered weapon in the game.
Yeah, it's super great to use all the time. You can use it to become a lawnmower, although unfortunately we probably won't see that unless someone decides to meme really hard.
Yeah.
It wastes about a minute.
There have to be spice levels of meme.
Yeah, and neither of them are racing Matt, so... Poor Matt.
Poor Matt indeed.
Yeah, he's busy getting trolled by Spice and Dark Souls.
So just to mention again, this is our second upgrade shrine, and once again, we have to be careful not to accept the powder upgrade. This time, we want the arrows. And this is very important because, unlike the bombs, we're actually out of arrows at this point. We really need the arrows, and they really, really speed up the next dungeon we're going to do, which is the color dungeon.
Yeah, the everything there, except for the first mini-boss, is weak to arrows and boomerang, so having both of these items... although I don't know, I've seen a lot of people just elect to do the bingo room the old way, where you just don't do it. But here we're gonna get a photo now. Nice, happy ghost picture.
You have no little troubled words there, right?
A little bit. You just don't do the bingo room.
Yeah, just don't do it.
It doesn't work.
Well, to be honest, I don't understand the boomerang strats in that room. I mean, it looks like some people can do it well, but I just stick with the sword. It's fast, it works, it's easy.
The room sucks.
Yeah, the room just sucks. Well, to be honest, I like the room, it's fun.
It's fun. It's super great casually. Like everything in the color dungeon casually is great.
Just not when you're timing yourself.
No.
But we're gonna see a fun trick here with black and the boomerang. Turns out the hitbox for the boomerang is smaller than it looks, and you can just sneak it past that block and grab the heart.
Oh, flag!
That falls in. That's another fun fact, is that the hitbox, like Link's hitbox, it's either Link or the staircase, but the interaction with staircases is much smaller than it looks, and it's very easy to kind of just walk past the stairs. Which he did there.
Yeah, it's gonna waste a little bit of time. So, we're gonna answer some colors. Do you know what color this skeleton is? I'm gonna say it's magenta.
And this is a really stupid quiz, because you'd have to be colorblind to not be able to get it, because if you play this game on an original Game Boy in black and white, they won't let you enter anyway. You can't answer the questions in black and white. So,
because you don't understand color.
They really just want to drive the point home that, hey, check us out, we're in color. So in this dungeon, there's that hidden room we just saw Black enter, and it's got 140 rupees in it. Each one of those rupees is worth 5. And for whatever reason, that room isn't stored, like the completion of that room isn't stored directly in your save file. So if you were to, if you save and quit and hard reset the game, as we're going to see our runners do, or if you leave and re-enter the dungeon, oh, nice zoomerang from Black there. If you leave and re-enter the dungeon or hard reset, wherever this information is stored in RAM gets reset, and the room just respawns. So you can farm those rupees infinitely, which lets us rack up rupees really quickly. And we need 300 pretty soon for getting the Frog Song of Soul, which is our third and final song.
It's probably stored in there like that because it's not a chest and they didn't have like a real way of putting rupees on the ground for this game.
Well, there's... Oh no! Did Flack's emulator crash? I see his cursor.
Something happened.
Oh no.
Boy oh boy, do we have some spicy things tonight.
He just posted in chat that his emulator crashed. What is he gonna do?
I
hope he can restart it, because he did just save and quit.
Yeah. He should be fine. There's his hard reset.
Well, I hope his save file's intact, because something similar happened to Dragon during this tournament. Okay, good, he's there. Okay. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. It was just a slight detour. Okay. Anyway,
his hard reset was just taking a little bit longer than normal.
So, scare aside...
Why did you go back?
Yeah, you could gamble on the extra rupee, I guess, but...
I don't think it's that big of a gamble that you'll find 1 rupee somewhere in between here and Frog Song.
Well, the thing is, we're not really killing anything between here and Frog Song.
Man, I guess.
You'd have to equip the sword, like, in the maze to kill some Zols or something. But yeah, so we saw there, after the very hard reset from Black, that room was fully restocked, and he was able to get 300 rupees.
There's a rupee right there. Could've gotten that one.
Okay, you got me.
there's a plenty of Zols right there, and Zols love dropping rupees.
So we see there Black having a very quick bingo room with the boomerang there. And while I personally find it very hard to control the boomerang in that room, Black makes it look so easy, and you get the added bonus of being able to grab the falling key with the boomerang to save a bit of time as well. Although we see aullos doing the opposite and opting to go for the sword in the bingo room. While Vlack has a really good boss fight. So this boss fight's gimmick is that he's got regenerating health, and you just want to kill him before he can... You just want to kill him faster than he can regenerate. But he can move around, he can throw projectiles at you to block your arrows. Luckily Vlack had none of that and just spammed arrows and killed them really fast.
And Black not electing to save 0.82 seconds. Going blue tunic. The more optimal strategies.
It is the more optimal strategy, and he's probably one of the only top runners who has switched to the blue tunic since discovering the since doing the task work.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were resistant, and they're just like, oh, well, we know how to hit the D5 boss with red tunic. Why would we switch? And that it's so easy to hit the D5 boss with blue tunic.
Yeah,
and so much time, it makes that fight suck so much less.
Yeah, like, so Blue Tunic makes the Armos fight coming up ahead harder, but not as hard as the D5 boss is with Red Tunic.
Yeah, and like it makes it harder in that you have to use, you know, these guys all know the no swoop boot strats, so boot strats are pretty fast.
Yeah, and exactly. Difficulty aside, on average, the Blue Tunic's gonna save time, because like on average your D5 boss fight is probably gonna be a 3 cycle with the Red Tunic.
Yeah, if you don't get a 4 and 4 with the Red Tunic, Blue Tunic is faster, and you have to do every single fight perfectly for Red Tunic to save time. So the Red Tunic does not save time. It also has the added benefit of you don't ever have to worry about completely eating it to Armos Maze, because you're just going to be walking through Armos the entire time. Everything in there does a ton of damage. Alice actually died there on his last race.
Well, it was one of those things, at least for me personally, coming from running the main category where you have less hearts, you just have the green tunic, but you have Bow Wow, and Bow Wow's eating all these Armos for you, and the maze is easy, you're not dying in the maze.
Yeah, like,
but then I learned Hundo, and I start going through with the Red Tunic, and I'm dying, and I don't know how. I've got so many hearts, but there's so many things that can hit you, and they do a ton of damage.
Yeah, Bow Wow, for whatever reason, for me, is the most voracious in Armos Maze, to the point where I don't think I've ever been able to get Piece of Power in D6 because of it. Just eats everything.
Yeah,
probably saves, it probably don't lose that much time because it eats all of my Armos and gets my arrow count good, but... Got some best sawing going on here. Make the sounds if you too are the emergency medical hologram.
I love that reference.
It's
so good.
You can only sing this if you can sing in math.
Man, I wish we had access to the audio control so we could overlay that YouTube clip. But anyway, so yeah, that was our third and final song, and that's also a song we're never going to use, because its 2 uses in this game are to, 1, revive the Flying Rooster, which the game would expect you to use to get the bird key, which, well, we don't already have, but we don't need the rooster. And the second use of it is to gain entrance to Dungeon 8, but again, with the magic of bomb triggers, we don't need it. So we're just collecting it to have it, but we never actually use it.
So I have a question. It's probably still faster to go into the room and reset it, but if like you enter the screen with the Moblin right before D8 and it just shoots an arrow at you, would it be faster to just equip the Ocarina instead of going into the room, resetting it, killing the Moblin, and then doing the bomb trigger?
That's a good question. I don't know.
But usually that never happens, but it could.
Say, if you're really close to the telephone booth, just enter and exit the telephone booth, right? That's 4 seconds lost. That's not a big deal. Because equipping and unequipping, well, realistically, you're only using 1 extra menu, which is only 2 seconds. But using the Ocarina itself costs extra time as well.
Yeah, it's probably 2 seconds.
Yeah, so if you'd probably break even depending on where you are in relation to that warp.
Yeah, like if as you're about to hit him, if as you're about to hit him, he shoots an arrow, then it's probably save a little bit of time, but that never happens.
Yeah.
Usually.
That's a good question though, because in this category we actually, of course, have it. We could play it to back up.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of things that decide to ruin bomb triggers, but arrows are a known one of them.
Yeah, and oddly, just an arrow in general, because the game doesn't discriminate the source of an arrow. Just an arrow's an arrow, and for whatever reason, bomb triggers don't like that.
Okay, so Black has picked up his 20th seashell. I wonder which seashell Aullos is going to back up with. It probably should be the one in D6. It's not that out of the way, and you get to do a really cool series of super jumps in order to get it.
I mean, I assume Aullos knows about that seashell. I don't know if he's practiced that series of super jumps, but you know, it's doable with extra menus either way.
Yeah,
oh, and he got the swag.
Yeah.
Well, he got the double block, but he didn't get it into the staircase.
Did you watch vlackSR? Those were some really swag boot strats. He was turning, like, damn, that was some good boot strats right there.
Oh, I missed Black's, but if it's the same one he always does, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, he hits him twice from the top and then in the side, and then just runs it up, and he dies right in front of the door like that.
Yeah, that's a great strat. Because it's similar to our old boot strats, but it sets you up right by the door. Yeah, all those way to the side guys strats there, where you get an infinite dash. You let the Armos Knight stun you in the middle of the dash, and you get an infinite dash, similar to using the shovel. And you can then stun lock him at the bottom, but he got his positioning just wrong, which is really unfortunate. The positioning really matters for that setup.
And let's see. Good Zorlax jump from Black. As I really wonder how much time Alice is going to lose due to the missed seashell and having to get that photo. I don't actually know how much time they end up wasting.
Well, I think that doing the backup seashell in D6, even with the good strats and the super jumps and whatnot, still costs you about 30 seconds.
Eesh.
So it's the fastest backup given the route, but it's still not ideal. As far as going back for the photo, I don't think it necessarily loses time, because you have to go up that way to get to D8 anyway, but you're just losing the value time from getting the seashell while you're at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can just save and quit, and just get it right before Rooster Skip instead.
Yeah, exactly.
He will be picking up a rupee instead of a seashell.
Or, I mean, because of where these guys want to get the level 2 sword, I imagine that, you know, he'll probably just do that on his way to D8. He'll just enter the Kuko house.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would work out better too.
So at the very least, he's opting to get the level 2 bracelet first. I'm trying to remember if he even...
Well, you need the level 2 bracelet. Oh, yeah, you need the level 2 bracelet, because you have to open that door with an elephant statue.
That's right, you need it to get to the seashell, but you don't need to get it back.
Yeah, because, fun thing about all the dungeons, if you save and quit in any of their alternate exits, and, he's not going for that, does he remember that he skipped it?
I guess we'll see.
There is one other... I don't know what that bomb trigger is supposed to save. I think it's 2.5 seconds. Just makes the tiles start going faster.
Yeah, it's worth going for, but...
He might be going for the one that Green Tunic did earlier, which is the one next to Richard's villa, or the castle, past a rooster lock.
Oh yeah, he could do that one. Yeah, that's true.
That one's definitely slower than the D6 one, I think. But if you don't know about the D6 one, you probably know about the other one, and you don't have to get to that one.
The zoomerang isn't the same going both ways, so it's easy in one direction, but it's difficult in the other direction, so... Yeah, and of course, he could also still get the seashell after getting the instrument, so we'll just have to see what he does. I didn't see Vlack's horse heads there, but they seemed pretty quick. He was sort of in and out of that room.
Hellbent on getting this boot super jump.
Well, I got it.
And he gets the key. That's okay. He gets to skip a flock flip later, which is nice. Black's horse heads were pretty bad.
Corn says 4, so that wasn't bad at all.
Oh, was it? It seemed like it was longer.
Oh really? I was gonna say I felt the opposite, but yeah, 4 is average. 4 is not good, but not bad.
Yeah, you have a 25% chance every time, unless you're Bamboo.
Unless you're Bamboo.
Who gets it firsties like 80% of the time.
Yeah, 60% of the time, it's firsties every time. And Black, you know, just dominating the side there, because you can get 3 of the 5 hits in before the fight even starts. And I gotta tell you, I don't know about the time difference, but seeing aullos just walk right through that key block, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think Node has told me that the way aullos does it, getting that key there is roughly the same amount of time.
You know what, I'd say the way he does it is worth it then, because block flips suck. Those in particular, because you have to like set it up and avoid the spark, and if you accidentally get hit, then it's screwed, and...
You get a bad subpixel.
Yeah, it's all... That one's all sorts of a mess. Like, a lot of the other ones, the one in D3 is really consistent. Oh no.
And not only is aullos getting a bit of trouble on that last bomb on the stab, but he got an 11th try horse head, which is just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Which is not helping him at this point. You know, he needs to catch up. He's still within reach of, you know, like he needs all the time saves he can get, and that is just not helping him. So here we have Vlack getting his level 2 score. He's got 20 seashells, and he's going to get this and then head right to D5. So we'll see now if aullos opts to go back into Dungeon 6 for his seashell, or, like you mentioned, he might go to the Candlelit Moat, or, God forbid, he goes into the Seashell Mansion and thinks he has 20. Because I still maintain that the fact that he entered the cave before D4, before hopping down, like, he must have some knowledge of what he's doing.
Yeah,
No! What is he doing?
He forgot.
Okay, that boggles my mind. I don't know how he was able to set his warp point for the top of the mountain, and then forget that he didn't do it. Is he gonna realize? He's confused. Understandably confused. He's understandably confused. He could save and quit back to D5 at this point if he thinks about it, because
no, he's going. Where are you going?
Is he just gonna go to D5 and think about it later, maybe? He could have gone into the cave on his left there and gotten the seashell there as well through the secret wall.
He can't. He needs a shovel.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I always thought about that one, and I'm like, wait, no, you need the shovel for it.
Yeah.
And Black got first try early hook shot. We were too busy talking about oh man, Owl's is gonna have a really pain in the neck D5 because he can't use sword beams.
I was also gonna say that that's awesome for Black, but really bad for aullos to have his opponent get a first try early hook shot. Once again, just no help to him.
Yeah, Black is getting everything really quickly, and he's made a couple mistakes that are gonna make this. Unless Black gets really stubborn on Goomba Surf and spends like a couple minutes there, which is something I'm pretty sure everyone who's run this game has done because they're just, you know, stubborn.
Or as we always say, getting a really bad blue ball RNG on Aghanim. So that's already first try for aullos, I think.
Yeah, that's
for a second. So each attempt, depending how quickly you can do it, is roughly 10 to 15 seconds time loss.
And if you get everything right, the whole sequence with early mag lens, early boomerang, and all that other stuff saves about a minute of time.
Yeah, so we saw our runners get the magnifying lens early with that Zora bump and that super jump and all that. That's actually slower than just getting the boomerang later, but we do it specifically so we can get this hook shot early, and the whole thing, like you said, saves time.
Yeah, and I don't know if we time like other time saves with the boomerang with it. I don't know what was timed, but I do know that we're saving at least a minute if you only account for the save in D5.
Yep, which is huge. So yeah, unfortunately, unlike Black, aullos didn't get it first try. He didn't, it wasn't terrible for him. I think, did he get it second try?
Third try.
Third try. That's too
still
bad.
Saves at least 20 seconds, probably.
Yeah, so I mean, like 2 tries would be the average there. But, yeah. And obviously, in a run, like in a race, you can't be mad about third try, but when your opponent gets first try, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, that trick is 50-50, unfortunately.
But yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. I really want to see how aullos is going to route out this last seashell now.
No, because I was thinking like if you go down to the bay, but that makes no sense at all.
Because of course, I think saving and quitting back to D6 would have been his best move, but
yeah,
when you're in that panic situation, to think of that is very difficult. And we see actually. We didn't comment on it, but we saw aullos also get the blue tunic, so both guys are going for the more consistent, safer tunic here.
Yeah, I mean...
We didn't cover it, but Black had a very good boss fight there with the D5 boss, where he was able to get, an easy 2 cycle without the troubles that the red tunic would give you.
Yeah, the blue tunic. Does the blue tunic give you reduced knockback as well?
Not reduced knockback. It's just that the red tunic gives you knockback.
No, I meant not with your sword, but on your body.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't
Yeah,
think it
there was
your
something I was
knockback.
saying. A bunch of people were saying that like the 5 and 3 cycle with blue tunic is way easier than it
Oh,
is.
I may have been talking about that. I was just talking in general that the 5 and 3 cycle is really easy just without the red tunic. So it's
Oh
like
yeah, that's
yeah, it's just as easy as with the green tunic.
Yep, he got 5, I think. It's hard to tell because I can't hear the sound. Yeah, he got 3. Yeah, there's a 5 and 3.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, if you're lucky enough to get a long pull or good timing on a short pull, getting the 5 and 3 is really nice.
Yeah, he had a long and a short, and that was really good. So.
Okay, so I mean, aullos is still equipping Mambo's Mambo. He's following in Black's footsteps here, so he's carrying on with the run, heading on his way to D7. I think if I had to guess, he's just going to continue on with the run and probably just get the seashell before the mouse, before the last photo, and then just get the level 2 sword later, you know?
I'm trying to think of the best time for him to go and grab that would be, though. I guess he could. Well, the best time to do it would probably be in D8 after he gets the last heart piece. If he takes the D8 warp.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because then all he has to do is he just has to run up to the house.
When he can save and quit after getting the sword back to the warp.
Save and quit straight back to the warp. Yeah, those are the words I'm trying to say. It's been a long day for me.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't sleep well. Ugh.
But yeah, so that must be what he's thinking. I assume that he's figured out what he forgot. And to be honest, I think that does make sense because, well, I'm not really sure. I think that detour to the mansion is probably faster than 30 seconds you'd spend getting a backup seashell, especially considering, he's going to lose a bit of time from having a level 1 sword, but not a lot of time either. So it's really hard to say.
Right, because he can just do boomerang strats against the Vire.
Ooh, aullos getting a nice backup obstacle skip there.
But another thing that Black did, and I saw aullos doing this first, rather than having the boots equipped for the first jump on Rooster Skip, they jump up into the wall and then just mash the 2 buttons together, and have hookshot equipped. As okay, yeah, so he's going. This is where I thought he was gonna grab this.
Yeah.
It's just because he can save and quit here, and he doesn't have to enter Luigi's house.
Yeah, I suppose that is better value.
He made sure he got butt sword though, so.
All is forgiven. But Black now entering Dungeon 7, which is a really cool dungeon involving 4 stories, and typically we'd be carrying around a steel ball to knock down pillars, but bomb triggers work just as well and are much quicker. And of course, grabbing that level 2 shield that we're never ever going to use.
Yeah, we used to be able to. And aullos failed Rooster Skip, so he does a hard reset.
Actually, that's another good reason for him to have done the save and quit at the mouse there, because he gets extra value from saving and quitting if he fails Rooster Skip or if he falls.
Yeah, take a second. Yeah, he just hard resets instead of trying to fix it.
Now, like, in some cases, you can save and quit if you think you're about to fall, but once the fall is started, you can't save and quit, so...
aullos having a very curious second try.
Yeah, he was able to recover it, but poor positioning landed him sort of on the edge of the pit at the very end there, so he had to go for a third mini hookshot jump there.
Yeah, I mean, Black does 3, but they do that first clank jump that is apparently really fast and consistent.
Yeah, Black's method is really cool, because instead of timing a long shot, he just mashes a really tight shot instead.
Yeah, I saw aullos do that first. I don't know if that was Black who came up with it initially.
Oh yeah? I think Black was the first person I saw do it, but I don't really know the order.
Yeah, because he did it instead of the dumb jump in D5 too. Like he just clanked over at the only dumb jump we have left in this category.
And Black getting Goombaster, having a bit of trouble getting the Goombas to cooperate, but he
Third try is pretty good, still saves time.
Yep. Well, maybe a bit longer than third try, just because he was kind of hoping for better luck on that one go round. But now we get to see a really fun quick kill on this boss. Oh, is he too far over?
I think he might be.
Should. He was too far over. Oh, and he missed.
Uh-oh.
He's got to face up. There, he got it.
Yeah, this will be good.
So an unfortunate mistake there, but you can see that the hookshot is just shooting down past the menu bar instead of, it's supposed to clink on the edge of the screen, but for whatever reason, on this screen, if you save and quit within a certain time frame, we don't really understand it, you can just hookshot south. And it's really strange, and you can do it with the hookshot, you can do it with the fire rod, and you can just take advantage of the... Because when the Evil Eagle goes off the screen, he flies upwards, and he just kind of rolls, his position just rolls over to below the screen, below the menu bar. So you can abuse that and just soft lock him, or stun lock him rather, and get a bunch of hits in while he's technically off the screen.
Al's having some problems with these bomb triggers. He's pretty low on bombs right now. There are pickups.
Yeah, he'll definitely be grabbing the bombs on the top floor.
They don't waste any time to grab anyway.
Yeah. But we see Black here, he finishes Dungeon 7 and he's carrying on to Dungeon 8 now. Now typically there'd be no way to do this. If you fall off the cliff at Dungeon 7, you normally drop all the way down to Dungeon 4. But during the screen transition, if you buffer a save and quit menu during the fall, you'll actually regain control of Link, such that you can move while you're falling and avoid falling down the pit, which saves a ton of time from having to reclimb the mountain, and lets Black just dash right over to Dungeon 8. And coming up, trying to kill the Moldorm but accidentally hook shots across. We're going to see Black come up here and he's going to get his third and final upgrade, and he's finally going to get the powder upgrade. Because we already have the bombs and the arrows, and we need to get the powder. We never need this much powder at this point in the game, but there's nothing left to get.
Yeah, I mean, it is fun to mash as you fall down, and if you mash all of it, then you can go pick up the mushroom, and wait, I don't know how much time that wastes, but you know, if you're not convinced you're gonna get blob quick kill, maybe it only loses you 4 seconds. A man can dream. It's probably way more than that.
I'm pretty sure it's like, 20, 30 seconds or so.
That seems a little high. You're like right next to it as you fall down.
Well, you're a few screens away, and then whether or not you save and quit and stuff, it's quite a time.
Yeah, that's true.
Oops. So here Black's going for the bomb trigger on the turtle head here.
It does get it. Moblin does not shoot an arrow.
And this isn't part of the glitch, but it just so happens that it takes a few moments for Turtle Head's hitbox to spawn, so Black is able to just run right through him before that happened.
Yeah, if you don't, he'll just kind of push you all the way down. He won't do any damage. The advantage of activating him with the bomb trigger is it only has 1 HP. However, if you kill it, it doesn't die. It will respawn by the time you get back out there. And, so here's the book shot. Get up here.
So fun consequence of having like a button priority in this game is you have to have hookshot on B and you have to have feather on A. And pressing both on the same frame or buffering them like he did puts you in this weird jump state while you're hookshotting, and it lets you hookshot double speed. So these guys use that to clip. Because they're moving at double speed, when they hookshot to that block, they're twice as far into it as they should be. And it lets them walk past that key block, kind of like block clip.
So something, so Black just fought Blano, and is now gonna go fight Q-Ball. Aullos is gonna lose a bunch of time there, because he doesn't have level 2 sword.
Yeah, like, I don't know how much time it actually will be. Like, I wouldn't say it's a ton of time, but it's
Well,
definitely
not on
significant.
cue ball. Cue ball is like, you know, an extra like couple seconds. Blano's a bit more. It'll be more like a no scoob fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely losing probably 10 or 15 seconds there, just in Dungeon 8 to having the level 1 sword. Maybe 15 is too high.
But you know what? He might still be able to save the time on cue ball if he does the D8 warp.
The D8 warp?
Yeah, he takes the D8 warp to go get the go get his level 2 sword.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it depends when he does that. Sorry, I thought you were joking about a wrong warp or something.
Oh.
I wasn't following.
If he wants level 3 bracelet, yeah, wrong warp would be great. I just can't wait for them to get the sword, the level 2 sword in the randomizer so we can open it up in the 5 chest room and have a level 6 sword.
The game is actually kind of weird. If you give yourself like a higher order sword, you get some really weird properties. Like just the way the game handles damage values and stuff. It doesn't just simply pump up the damage of the sword, it'll give you different effects. Like, I think if you have the level 9 sword, you set things on fire with the sword as if it was the magic rod.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So that was a pretty good hothead fight.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Hothead has invincibility frames that last forever while you can still hit him and it makes sounds. Black does wang properly. We got that. It's a nice little trick. It's very important. Means he's gonna have good blue balls later.
I mean, we have to watch aullos because aullos is notorious for forsaking the wang, and it just cannot stand.
Yeah, well, and Black actually went for the despawn. There is one despawn that you can do in this game, there's a couple, but that's the only one we're ever going to be able to hit on our paths. And Link's Awakening, as Alice would definitely know, you beat the game by despawning everything with a fire rod. Okay, so let's see what Alice does here. Go to the right. Okay, yes, this is the screen you'll never see in any
Holy shit, Alpha.
All warps. What?
Commentators got something right. We called it. We did it.
I'm just like, this is the only thing that makes sense, and then I'm not sure if which one would be faster if we went from Animal Village or here. That I wouldn't know.
This one's definitely faster, I'm sure.
Okay.
Especially for the mansion.
Oh yeah, this part always messes me up on how far away things are. I always think the Animal Village one is closer to stuff than it is.
Well, I was gonna say, the only other one I could think of would be going to the waterfall one and then swimming down.
That one's definitely slower though.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, right, Wolfos? I mean, commentators always get it wrong.
Man, there's only so many things he could do, and once he was there, you know, unless he was just planning on beating the game and saying world record 99%, like...
Okay, Alpha, can we just have this? Can we have this?
Yeah, we're gonna have this.
We deserve this.
We did just gloat our way across Ballad of the Windfish though, so we're gonna have to play Alice's audio during that part.
Oh, that's why you're trying to get me to shut up. And good, Alice remembers to save and quit there too.
Yeah, there we go. D8 warp. But Black will be finished before Alice gets there anyway, so switching to his audio will be fine. Gets the let's see how his blob quick heals. He gets the bomb trigger, which I think is honestly the worst thing in the game, but I'm usually happy when I miss it because I really like this boss theme, even though it costs 10 seconds.
Well, it's an annoying text skip because you really have to mash. But contrary to popular belief, you can actually buffer it. And almost messing up the Zamboni.
Oh no.
That is just insult to injury.
Yeah, you never want to mess up your Roomba room. or like whatever it is. It's like it's a glowing crystal ball on top of like a tile, set of tiles. I guess I don't know what it is.
It reminds me of a cake. Like I think it's like it looks like a cake.
I also think it's a cake. Maybe it's a layer cake, but instead of actual like cake layers, it's just tiles and cement, and they just like slowly fold out of the machine while it's working.
It's a self-replicating cake.
Today is definitely just not Alice's day. But we definitely all have.
I saw one blue ball from Black, but I don't know if he got any more.
He had a couple.
Okay.
I think. I remember hearing the bits a little bit. I think he's gonna go for Gentle Skip. I saw him practicing it beforehand.
Oh, and Black is going for his setup, or well, the A setup for Death'll Skip here, and he gets it. So he was able to judge the frames that the bats were on, and by playing the ocarina on the same frame that a bat would move, he's able to freeze the bat in position, defeat Ganon, and then the game gets confused and transforms both Ganon and the bat into Death'll, but the bat having 0 health dies, so Death'll dies, so GG.
Yeah, so Aullos not getting Wang. He is a eunuch, but is hoping that because of that he will get no blue balls.
Although I do see that Aullos is forfeited from the race. I'm not sure if he intended to do that because he is continuing to run here.
Well, we're gonna see.
But GG to Black. That was an amazing time, you know? 120.29.
It's pretty solid.
I mean, like, that was only 1 minute off his PB. Black having a 119.15 as his personal best.
Yeah, we're gonna be quiet now, because we weren't quiet earlier. Salute.
Beautiful. Beautiful rendition.
Very good.
So Aullos has unforfeited, so I assume that was just an accidental thing he'd done.
I think he may have planned on forfeiting much sooner, and he just typed it in.
Either way, whether it was a mistake or intentional, he does seem intent on finishing the run out, so kudos to him. Because I feel so bad for Aullos, because he's had some amazing runs in this tournament, and he really had a shot against Black in this run. Like, both of them, I'd say, are virtually equal in terms of their skill levels here.
Yeah, like, if we're looking at, like, time that Black lost due to things that, like, missing that trick earlier, accidentally going to the wrong place, he probably lost 3 or 4 minutes, and then the failed rooster skip was another 30 seconds. If he'd gotten all of those things with the same luck that Black had, I think his execution was cleaner overall for the majority of the run, as he's just slashing the blob. I guess
he's going for the Link's Awakening strats here.
What's the Link's Awakening strat?
Well, because in the Link's Awakening run, you don't have powder here, so you have to get the quick kill. And of course, being that the quick kill is only like 50% chance of working, a lot of runs end with you just backing up, trying to get the blob to land on your sword. Pixel perfect. God. Although he is closing it out with powder.
That's... Man, Link's Awakening is evil.
But yeah, it was one of those days for Aullos. He even said it himself before the race. He just wasn't feeling it. You know, things that he's done a million times just weren't happening. It's like his hands forgot what they were doing. And that's just such a shame because he's such a strong runner. And, I mean, he's certainly not out of it, of course. This being the winner's bracket, he's just going to get sent to the loser's bracket where he can still definitely dominate if he, if he has better days. And in fact, he'll be facing Node Kaju next, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. He will be facing the winner of oh no.
What is it?
He'll be facing the winner of either myself or Xander.
Ooh.
So it looks like Xander and I aren't making it past the second round.
Did you expect to?
Not really, but this kind of seals the deal.
I mean, do you think you would beat Node over aullos?
Well, I might beat Node over aullos, but I was gonna say between this race,
they're both French. Remember that. Remember that they're both French.
Yeah, they got that French power.
Okay, so aullos going for his setup.
He's going for bufferless, which, as you can imagine, is quite difficult because it's a frame-perfect trick, and he misses it, unfortunately. But the boomerang is a one-hit kill on Landmolus, and at least we get to see. Typically, this final phase of Deathel here takes 16 bombs or 16 arrows, but it takes just a single hit from the boomerang.
I mean, because you have blue tunic, you can just do this.
Yep.
I remember the first time I did bufferless. That was a good meme.
Oh, you got a bufferless Deathel skip?
Yeah, first try.
Oh
ever.
Wow.
Sagas randomly explained it to me very poorly at like 3 AM his time during a rando race. I haven't gotten it since then, but it was cool.
I hope you have that saved.
It is. It's in the memes channel. It's clipped in the memes channel. Aullos is, I think, Xander had a strategy here.
Oh, no. Okay, so he's re-forfeited. It was a tease. It was all a big tease. Well, GG aullos.
Yeah, GG aullos.
I understand not wanting to finish that one out. That was an unfortunate run, but.
But what about his SRL points?
Oh my God, who cares about SRL?
They're worth nothing, but they're things you can have.
But
I don't know if we have any interviews.
No, well, I don't think Black will join us, but we'll see if aullos would like to join in. But yeah, good effort from both runners. But you hate to see you have an off day, but you have to race.
That 126 still could have beaten the majority of everyone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's still a very good time.
That was on the worst possible run for aullos. Yeah, he's good. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't blame him there. I know what that feels like.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna do it for us.
Yeah, that's it for today. We're, of course, with the tournament sort of starting to wind down here, we have less and less races each week, but we do still have 2 races left this week. 2 back-to-back races tomorrow, which are going to be good to see. There's, starting at 2 p.m., there's myself versus Xander in the losers bracket. So one of us isn't going to make it, and one of us is going to move on to get creamed by aullos, but at the very least, I'm pretty sure our match is going to be very close. Myself and Xander both have very similar times. We've been getting very similar times in the tournament, so I think that'll be good. It is a rematch for us. Xander, of course, beating me back in the Swiss stage. And then following that race at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we've got Bamboo Shadow versus Green Tunic, also in the losers bracket, who are going to be going on to face Node Kaju in the next round. And that is also going to be awesome to see because they're both, very good runners, very similar skill level, and both a little rusty. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you everyone for stopping by and watching this wonderful race, and thank you Alpha for joining me on commentary.
Yeah, it's been fun. I always enjoy commentating these.
But I think that'll do it for us, and we hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.